at the family barbecue and you come up and this woman, you don't even know her like that. You don't know nothing about her. Here she is, all willing and happy and excited to make your husband's plate. What's your thoughts? I have a great debatable topic today. It keeps coming up everywhere. Mm-hmm. So you just finished cooking dinner, Destiny, right? Mm-hmm. Who are you going to serve first? You just finished cooking. Who do you feed first? Your husband? Or are you feeding them kids first?
Oh, it's like, do you want the biblical answer or do you want the real life answer? What I should do or what's actually happening?
I want to know the real life answer, and then you can talk about the biblical. I want to know what you're doing.
So honestly, the kids get their plate served first.
Okay. Tell me why.
Every time I do it, or not every time, but sometimes I think to myself like, my stepmom did not do this. My stepmom did not do this. And that this is probably not biblical.
But why do you do it? Why? So since you seem to know that there is a right way, but you continue to do it the way that you are doing it, what makes you do it that way every time?
Well, part of it is, I think right now out of habit.
Okay.
So, and I don't know how it actually started, but I think probably even from, I don't know. I think it's from, I'm trying to think, even before we had kids, I think sometimes I would fix Aaron's plate. But then I think sometimes he wants to fix his own plate. Mm-hmm. So literally like on Sunday, we had neighbors over for dinner. Uh-huh. And whenever I have people over for dinner, I just do like buffet style. Like you're going to come through this line and you're going to make your own plate. Mm-hmm. But anyway, I always ask Aaron, hey, you want me to fix you a plate? And usually he's like, oh no, I got it or whatever. Mm-hmm. So, I'll start fixing the girl's plate. And I think it's sort of like one of those things where for me also, it's like if I'm dishing out their food first, mm-hmm. that means it's going to sit a little bit longer than his food for temperature purposes, if that makes sense. So if I dish out their food, put it on the table, it's sitting there, then mm-hmm. I might do mine, get it ready. Now his last, it might stay warm. I'm just saying in theory, that's what makes sense to me.
Right.
So, but I want to say oftentimes he's just like, I'll do it. And it's funny because on Sunday, then he was like, oh, go ahead. And, I got it. But I ended up starting to fix his plate. So like I said, in all honesty, the girls get served first.
Okay.
And so you said that this is keep coming up. Where do you?
It keeps coming up everywhere in discussions. It could be, I've seen several videos on YouTube. Mm-hmm. I've seen a couple clips on Instagram. Mm-hmm. I've seen a clip on the Reel. They've seen it on Google. Like it's just debatable. It's like a huge topic. People are 50-50. Some people, they're quick to say, oh, the kids, they're getting fed first, nonstop. And then you have the other half that says, yes, I fix my husband's plate first. Mm-hmm. So for the Fletcher household, as the wife, when I cook dinner, yes, the first thing I do is I make Jerome's plate. I make his plate first. Like even if he's not home and just me and the kids are eating, it's so natural for me. I grab the bigger plate for him because for me and the kids, we use a little bit smaller plate than Jerome, but mm-hmm. I naturally grab that first plate, that big plate for him, and I just, fix his plate. Then I go into the kids. I always fix my plate last, but it's a natural thing for me to just go straight into fixing his plate first. Yeah.
Girl, let me tell you one of the milestones that I look forward to when raising kids.
What? When
they are able to be completely self-sufficient in the bathroom. Like,
yeah,
wipe after yourself.
Right.
I look forward to that. Like Naomi's there, but Olivia, mommy, I poo poo.
So you have one out of the two. So you almost there, friend. You almost there.
Oh, all right, let's go.
All right. So yeah, that's how I've always done it. It's something that I want to do to honor my husband. So that's pretty much it.
And that doesn't surprise me because I think, like I said, I feel like you have lots of traditional values.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think the other day we were talking about cooking Sunday dinner.
Mm-hmm.
And the way in which, you know, you all go about, and it's a big deal in the Fletcher household.
Mm-hmm.
So that doesn't surprise me. I guess I'm still sitting here thinking, like, so what are people saying about it that makes it such a big debate?
So many people think that the kids should be fed first. So what I want to do is I want to take it back biblically. If you want to talk about it as a believer and as a Christian and what God has for the family. So I remember when Jerome and I went through marriage counseling before we got married. One of the first things our counselors taught us was, you know, Jerome, you are the head of your household and you have to lead your family in this way. You have to first, the first person is God. He comes first, then your spouse, and then your children. And then I said, well, is there a scripture that kind of you know, prove that same point? So I went searching and looking, and there is. If you look in, I think it's Colossians 3:18 through 22, it'll say, wives, submit yourself to your husbands. Husbands, as the head of a household, you need to submit to God. And then children, honor your mother and your father. So it goes God, spouse, children. And that's kind of like how I try to live my life within my marriage. I try to live it in that way. But not only that, I remember even as a child, when my mom would cook, because my mom, she stayed at home with us. You know, I'm from a large family. There are eight children. My mom had 8 children. So I had 7 sisters and brothers. And, you know, when she would cook dinner, she made sure she made my daddy's plate first if he wasn't home, or if he was home. If he wasn't home, she would put it to the side. And if he was home, she made his plate first and, you know, got it to him. And then she made sure we all got our plates and we all sat down together at the table and ate. So I think it's just been a part that has been brought up in me, trained up in me the right way. And then I think it's an honor thing, because as the man, as the head of the household, if he's leading your family, then you have to respect that. And then it teaches the kids that type of respect too, you know, so that they'll know the right way when they are grown and adults and have moved on and got married in their lives also. So that's how I see it. But
you're looking at it from a biblical perspective. And there are a lot of people who aren't necessarily Christians that don't have that same belief system. There are people who think, you know, men and women are completely equal. They don't see any type of headship,
hierarchy,
you know what I'm saying, within even the family structure. So, you know, there's some people who might believe even your children are on the same level as the adults in the family. You see what I'm saying? You look at it as a way in which you fulfill the things that you believe in from a spiritual perspective, as honoring your husband. But some people don't look at it like that. And I can sort of see in some ways, maybe the other side, just taking away the biblical aspect of it, that some people might think it's like more practical to go ahead and get the kids their food. I get it. And sometimes, and to be completely honest, there are times, because I am raising 2 girls, and I too have traditional, I lean towards the traditional values, you know, that I wonder how well I'm training them in the way I want them to ultimately go.
Right.
And sort of like what you always say, like kids are watching, they're listening to everything, they're sponges. So the manner in which they see me relating to Aaron, even down to preparing his food first, making sure he's taken care of, will say a lot to them as they get older and they begin to think about when they become wives. You see what I'm saying? Like what their role is. So, you know, I sort of like get it. Yeah, I get it.
And also to your other point where you said that, you know, some of the people who debate that children should be fed first, automatically. To your point, they may not be spiritual or a believer or something of that. And I also think sometimes those women may not have had a man in their home when they grew up. And they may not have seen like their mom, show that same type of level of
reverence.
Because there was not a man in the house. So there can be lots of different reasons why people believe what they believe. But again, it goes back to those family meals. Like whatever working in your household, that's what you do. If it works for your family. So let's switch gears on it, right?
Okay.
So I want to show you this video. Okay. And then I want to know your thoughts. You ready?
I'm ready.
This food looks real good. I definitely need a plate.
Oh, I can make you a plate.
Oh, thank you so much.
I can make you a plate. I can make my husband's plate. Thank you.
Excuse me?
Excuse you.
All right. So
that is hilarious.
You're at the family barbecue, right? And it don't even have to be the family barbecue. It can be your friend's barbecue. And you come up and this woman, you don't even know her like that. You don't know nothing about her. Here she is all willing and happy and excited to make your husband's plate. What's your thoughts?
So what's so funny about that clip is at first I thought the lady making the plate was the spouse just because of the conversation that you and I have been having. So I was thinking like, okay, what's about to happen? And so when the other lady cut in, like, excuse me. Like the audacity. Back
right,
up.
hold on.
So, like sometimes you at the family barbecue and y'all have servers. Again, there's like a line and there are like people stationed on the other side.
That's not what that was, boo boo.
Right. I'm just saying.
That's not what that was. So who was right? Was the husband right for accepting that lady make his plate, or was the wife right for saying, "Look, woman, you need to back off. This is my man. I got this."
See, I was so focused on. I wasn't even focused on him. Like I was like, okay.
He's like, "Oh, so good."
He was willing to let this woman fix his plate. Well, he might have been hungry. And since his wife wasn't initially there, he was like, oh, okay, I just want to get my food and get up out of here. So depending on it, because it could have been maybe a cousin. It could have been, her sister and,
I don't think it was no cousin. It could have been cousin Sophie from Soul Food. Was it Sophia? You remember her, the cousin from Soul Food? What was her name? Was it cousin? It was the cousin. Look, I can't remember her full name.
With family like that, who needs enemies? That's all we could say. He probably should have been like, oh, no, that's cool. I got it. Or my wife's over there. She'll take care of it. But thank you. But again, men, you know what I realized, Drew? Men sometimes are completely oblivious to certain things.
Right.
Like that. Like he may have very well not seen that or processed that any other way other than this woman wants to make my plate.
Very much so. Because, men, they don't see some of the things like we as women can spot out dead on, Exactly. There are some conniving women out there. They're just waiting for that one little end where they can just scooch in there and just, try to put their little mark on something. So I'm with the wife all day long. I'm like that wife, like, I got this, honey. I got my man's plate. You can go on and do somebody else's plate. I got this over here. Right. So I'm that woman all day long. No, don't be offering to make my husband's no plate. And husband, don't you be accepting these women plates. You don't even know her.
I know that's right.
One thing I tell my husband, you don't be eating everybody's food either. Because he's in a profession where he's around a lot of females and things like that. And sometimes like during Christmas or something, everybody want to bake, give him some like, you don't be eating these people food. No.
Stop getting the biggest piece of chicken. She trying to give you the biggest piece of chicken.
Right.
Now she gives you the little piece of chicken. She don't want you.
Right. But if she got big old breast with that wing on it.
She up to something.
She up to no good. You hear what I'm saying? Only no woman making my husband no plates, no ma'am, no thank you. I got this.
Yes.
Yeah, I got this.
Okay, so I think today we've established that when you're at home, there's two ways of doing it. You can serve your man plate first or not, but that really is probably based on your cultural, familial, spiritual upbringing,
background.
But when you out the house, you always fix your man's plate first, because guess what? Now, this is another way of looking at it. Because if you go out and you decide you want to fix the kids' plates first, when you're at a gathering like that, while you dishing out their food, Linda over there might be trying to dish out your husband's food.
That's right. So there you have it, folks. So I would love to hear from you. Let me know, what are your thoughts on this? Are you cooking dinner and you making your husband's plate first, or are you cooking dinner and them kids gonna sit down and eat it first? Let me know. Leave us some comments. We really want to know what you guys think about this. And what are your thoughts on the family barbecue? If that lady come up want to make your husband's plate, are you gonna be like that wife and say, honey, I got this? Or are you gonna just stand back and let her fix your man's plate? Let us know in the comments. We can't wait to hear your comments on this.